If you've joined us on YouTube, this is a Toolbox Treasure of living reflections. We've looked at the theme, Becoming the Blueprint, this last season, and we've heard from lots of stories. We're going to expand on that now in a Toolbox Treasure. There'll be two separate videos. One will be part of Becoming the Blueprint is looking at a tool that I have created in Wellbeing, and it helps you to identify where you want to go, the barriers that you're going to have along the way, the things that we can do to ensure that we get to the place of our heart's desire where we want to go. You can use this tool for anything, for the top thing that you want in life and your purpose, to a small project that you really have written a SMART goal about, but you really want to map that out. You may be more of a visual person, that this tool will help you in reflecting that on paper. What I'm going to do is share my screen, and that's going to give you just a starting map for what that map can be. You can take a screenshot of that and you can utilize that on your smart devices and go along with the exercise with me. You could print it out, or you could draw your own map. And especially if you're listening to the audio on the podcast, drawing your own map is really quite simple. It's just a few mountain ranges, some big, some small. You might have a valley floor in front of the mountain range with, I've got a lake and some sand and some, that sort of thing. We want a mountain, a valley, and a flat part. So it's really quite easy to draw yourself as well. So let me share my screen with you. Okay, so in this, if you'd like to take a screenshot of that, if you'd like to use this, I've also got a road sign in there that you could ride anywhere which you're going, either way, and that will help you to look at some other goals, or this is where I'm going more in life, towards this way or this way. So while you're looking at or drawing, one of the things that I find really helpful in working out a life cycle that every single one of us goes through. We go through the valley experience, the darker times, the times where we're feeling most alone. We're walking through that valley. We have those trees all over us and it's, making it dark. We feel enclosed in some way. Sometimes we come across quicksand and we're going down. Sometimes we go into our cave and we don't want to come out and we don't want to talk to anybody, and making our loneliness feel even worse. Sometimes we could be finding our own little addictions and other things that we love along the way, and really feeding off them. And the valley experience is probably the hardest of the journey of the life cycle. But while we're in the valley, what's happening? We are building resilience, we're building strength, we're building things within ourselves, so that when the shorter that valley experience is, because you're moving through each of those obstacles really well, and the shorter that experience is, every time you've done that, you're going to get to the mountain quicker. The more that we prolong it, the more that we go into our cave or the quicksand or the numbing experience, or the I'm ignoring this, I'm not talking about this, I'm going to ignore, and you're going to continue walking through the valley. And I have been on that valley experience so many times, very short times and hugely long times. So and hopefully you can resonate with some of those times yourself. And then it comes to, well, there's this huge mountain in front of us. And now that I've built up the strength of going through the valley, I'm going to be able to climb up that mountain. And along the way, we get so energized sometimes and we keep on climbing because what do we want to do? We want to get to the top of the mountain. We want to experience that view, right? We want to enjoy that hard labor that we've gone through to get to the top. And so it's really important to, I've learned in life, to take time as you go up that mountain, conserve your energy, but also, use the energy, but also just stop and realize like what you're doing. Like, wow, I've achieved this, or oh, look at this. This is amazing, and just stop and enjoy the view. And then when we get to the top, sometimes that mountain moment experience only happens like rarely. And I know in my life it happens rarely. It's quite quick, doesn't last long. So to enjoy every moment while you're up there before you start going down the mountain. And that's another experience in our life cycle, is as we go down the mountain, we know we're heading back to the valley. But again, we're learning so much about ourselves, and we're open to what's going on because we've just gone on this amazing journey. Really hard yakka, yes, but amazing journey. And so again, we need to stop and look at the view along the way, think about what we've achieved, what we've done, what we've aspired to, that we got to this goal. Now, as we look at our own desires and our own goal and what we want to aspire to for just a specific moment in life, we're going to do some drawing about this. Now, I've had some software issues and no one other than on my iPad wants me to draw things on this map. So I'm prepared before I've got there, just so that I could drag on some things and quickly. So the first thing I want you to do is mark with A. I've got a star, but mark with A. This is where you are. For me, I have just gone through a valley experience and I am on the beach. So that's my A, is a blue star. That blue star is saying, this is where I am today. I've just had a long valley experience, but I'm resting on the beach for the last few days. I'm enjoying the peace and quiet, the things that I need to do, but no one's stressing me, no one's pushing me. I'm just enjoying the view, the lake, the forest around me, and taking that time out. Now, you might be in the valley, so you can put yourself there, your A, or your little picture of you, or whatever way that you want to describe. This is where I am today. Now, where do I want to get to? Let me put that in my favorite color, purple. And so I'm going to put my purple star. That's gone like dark blue, but anyway. Purple star. So we're going to go. I always go on I'm going to climb the highest mountain ever. Well, no, I've learned from that, and I'm going to go for this peak here, and go no. It's like no. I'm right where I want to be. I can do the lower peak. I don't have to go to the highest thing. So, that could be a peak for you. It could be I want to aspire to the beach where I am now. To get out of the valley, you might be having an amazing moment. You're already at the highest peak and you're wondering, well, it's only down from here. So you might be aspiring to get to the next bit. So whatever that is for A and B for you, mark that on the map. Now I want you to go and draw a line, like a pathway that you are thinking of doing. Sometimes in life, the pathway that we choose to go doesn't necessarily happen because all these other things happen in the way and we get waylaid or our pathway changes. But it's good to plan too. So I'm going to go along the beach for a while. Now it doesn't want to play because I've changed settings. I'm going to go along the beach for a while because I need the rest. And I'm going to track up the mountain. I'm not going to climb it straight up. I'm just going to slowly get up, but about here I'm going to go full belt to the top. And that is going to be my mountain experience. As I go up, I'm going to have little lookouts along the way. So if you just draw from A to B, how you are going to get there, remembering that you can't just go shoot up like that. Don't do a straight path. Do a path whatever way that you want to go. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we're going to write down your hope, your desire, that very goal that you aspire to achieve. What is that at B where you are going to go? And I didn't do that one. Okay. Well, my goal is to, I've been working on this for a while, to live free of trauma. Okay. So I'm going to take that box and I'm going to say, this is my goal here, to get to live free of trauma, or be trauma free is another way of saying. So if you put at B what your goal is, now again you could do a project. I could have put down, I want to finish my book trilogy of just launching book 2 early next year, but I want to finish the whole trilogy by the end of 2027. Like, I could have that as my aspiring goal, although, and it probably would be on top of a mountain. So it could be any project that you're doing, something that really speaks into your purpose in life. It could be something that you're looking forward to, anything that you feel you could use this for anything in life, really. So the next thing we do is we want to put some things on one side of the path, say the left-hand side, things that are going to be barriers along this path that we can identify now. So I've already raised my barriers. I've got triggers of trauma that could come up. I've got my exhaustion. I've got insomnia for 13 years, and that's the other YouTube video. I'm back with Rick and we're talking about insomnia and how NLP can help me through, or anyone through, insomnia. And so that's a not to miss on the YouTube video special edition as well, as he talks me through that in a personal way. And then I sometimes get in the way, and I often don't, I recognize it, but I don't state that. And so I think it's really important that it's a barrier. I can get in the way. I can make myself stay in the valley, longer because of things, I've got in the way of that. So the next thing we need to do is then put across against things that could be out of your control. Okay, so I'm in my control all the time. So that insomnia is really in my control, exhaustion's in my control, but triggers, right, isn't in my control. So I'm just going to put across beside triggers to know that, okay, this isn't in my control. Triggers can happen anytime, anywhere. Now, if I decided that was in my control, what's going to happen when you get trauma triggers? I'm going to be highly anxious. I'm going to have cortisol running through my body constantly, like I'm running from the tiger. So it's really important to recognize that triggers are out of my control. So I'm not going to live in fear. I'm not going to walk out the door thinking, oh no, well, what am I going to be triggered by? That it's a barrier. Yes, I've named it, but it's not in my control. So I don't need to worry about it. I don't need to put any energy into that. So that's what we're saying when things are out of our control, and it's also other people. We're not in control of their actions. Those things are out of our control, not point putting any energy into it. But naming them is a really good idea. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is on the other side of the path. Well, what can you do to help yourself through this journey? What do you need along the way that's going to help you? And so for me, I'm going to put, it's around more the exhaustion and insomnia. Is I need some grounding time. I need to go and have meditation time. I need time out. I need to be more present, that sort of thing. I need rest so I can rest well, and then I don't get exhausted. So I'm battling that a barrier, and then going with the insomnia. So put it either on the other side of the path, or could put it there, or where it's also helping the barrier that you're talking about as well. Nature is also something that is important. Excuse me. To me, nature walks and all those things, that's going to combat my exhaustion, insomnia, and help me. And the other thing that I feel like will help me is I've got to give myself some self-love. I've got to give myself some self-compassion. And those are also some of the topics that were coming up on Living Reflection. Self-love and inner leadership is next, and in looking at experts from all different fields on that. Great topic to go into before Christmas, and particularly around this time of the year when a lot of stress and pressure and exhaustion is happening. And then early in the new year, great topic for new year is finding balance. And that's all part of this. So grounding and rest, and the importance of that work play, finding that balance in our life. What does that look like for you? And I'm testing some of those tools now, because I always want to make sure if I'm putting a topic out there that I'm living it and that I'm doing it as well. Like that's really important to me and to my integrity in why I'm looking at these subjects. I'm not going to put stuff out there I haven't tested on myself. So when this is the map is really coming together, right? So we've worked out our A to B, where we're going. We've named what we want. We've put in our barriers, things that are out of control, so don't put those energies in. But knowing that, exhaustion, insomnia could happen, or those things that other things in your control could happen, that you've now put some things that you need along the journey that could help combat those barriers and get you to the goal that you wrote down. So if you've drawn this, it's a great thing that you could draw it again anytime. It's quite free and available to you. If you have used a screenshot, well, you could save it in another way and do it all again and utilize that for yourself. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope that has been a helpful tool. If you have any questions, please make a comment and I will get back to you.